Welcome to Pushing Cardboard. I'm Grant Lindenberg, and today we're going to do an unboxing of the latest game from Trafalgar Editions. This is Tactical Commander, a new game of it looks to be a kind of a new take on tactical combat. This first volume, I just assume that they're planning multiple volumes, but this first volume is takes place on the Eastern Front. This is it's designed by Cristano Lorente and Jose Luengo from an original idea by Alvaro Luis Sanchez. So there you go. I think it says World War II battles at the battalion level. But I think what's going to be interesting about this is it's somewhat of a card game. I think it has perhaps no map, or maybe I think it's a kind of there is a map, but I think it's going to have a kind of a combo card and map thing. It's not like a CDG or anything like that, as far as I can tell. Anyway, I backed this as I backed the Kickstarter for this, and you could order a few add-ins. So I got myself some card sleeves as an add-in, since I knew it was a card game. I also asked for I paid for a single counter tray, but then in the when they released it, they sent everybody one counter tray as well. So I ended up with two, since I'd also paid for one. And then due to stretch goals, now this was an interesting campaign. You don't see this very often. It seems to me lately all the things that I backed have either went way past their target and got a ton of their stretch goals, or didn't make the target, or it was canceled and there was nothing. This game, they just made it over their target, made their first stretch goal. So most of their stretch goals weren't accomplished, and I guess we're not getting it. Maybe those will be available as add-ons later on. So the first stretch goal gave you a scenario here called Krasny Bor. It looks two-sided, but it's Spanish on one side and English on the other. For those that aren't familiar with Trafalgar Editions, they're a Spanish company. So you got that scenario, and also special cards to go with that scenario. These are the Blue Division. It's probably not even in the light. Anyway, a set of cards for the Blue Division. That's a Spanish division that fought alongside the Germans in World War II. So, I think there's a special, an extra 20 cards there. Now, what I don't know, what I was also, well, not I'm sure anybody. I also got two extra sets of, I got an extra set of German cards and an extra set of Soviet cards. I'll look at all these cards when we get into unboxing the box, but there's no mention of these in the stretch goals. So and while there were lots of other stretch goals that included cards that weren't realized, these cards, like the top card on both of these packs, is just a basic infantry card, and all the stretch goal cards that were unfulfilled stretch goals were real special cards, not just basic infantry cards like this. So we'll have to see what these are. Who knows? Maybe they were just something that didn't make it into the box, and they're the regular cards. Who knows? Anyway, here we go. Let's we'll take a look at this. Before we go, I guess we should say they say complexity is medium, and multiplayer ability is medium. Don't say anything about solitaire solitaire ability. So I don't know if maybe that multiplayer means something. Maybe that's just a weird translation from the Spanish, but I don't think so. Multijugador sounds like multiplayer to me. So anyway, that's what it's rated. It gives a time of 1 hour to 3 hours. I guess it depends on the scenarios. So anyway, it's the rare box where the cover is in landscape rather than portrait mode. Just a photo, but anyway, let's look at it up. I I've only got one other game from Trafalgar Editions, Norway 1940, which was a game that I had had a bit of trouble with the rules initially, but once I got the rules, I really enjoyed the game. Yeah, I'll go back to that one for sure and play it again, because if for no other reason, because there's not many games dedicated to Norway 1940. Okay, well, let's see what we have here. So, well, we have four dice, nothing special there. But right off the bat, we have 3 decks of cards. It looks like we have a Russian, a Soviet deck, a German deck, and I think this is what's called an action deck. So let's get right at it, and let's look at some of these cards to see just what they look like. All right. Machine gun. Truck. Oops. Apparently I'm dealing. What do we got there? Oh, more trucks. Here we go. A little more interesting. So you know, there's engineers. Let's see. I see. Well, we've got a lot of infantry cards. We've got some artillery and whatnot, trucks, tanks, support weapons. What I don't see we'll look at. I don't think we'll see it in any other ones either. But we'll look at the German deck next. But noticeably absent from the Spanish deck, or the Soviet deck. There was often in tactical games you'll see leaders as well as cards for the squads, or for squads or companies, or whatever level you're talking about. No leaders here. Anyway, here's the German cards. There's one for you heavy metal fans. They're good looking cards. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Oh, look, we even have a little air support here. All right, so that's the 2 decks of nationality cards. Let's have a look at these. What I think they call the action deck, or action cards. Yeah, here's the back side. They do say action cards. So what have we got here? We've got barbed wire, anti-tank obstacles, sloped armor, line shot, don't know what that means, supplies, command points. Oh, here's a leader card. Well, that's interesting. Slightly better leader card. Defensive shield. So all right, so we get a bit of a sense of what these action cards look like. I'm going to just while we're at it, I'm going to have a quick look at these extra cards I got. This was the extra German ones. So infantry card, which is pretty much the same as the infantry card that we already had. Well, we have a bunch of them, but here we have some pioneers, some Panzerfausts, a regiment and a division headquarters cards. Some more armor. Oh, look. Ferdinand. Yeah, the rest, it's all, oh, look. A 110. Great. So nothing extraordinary there. Well, let's look at the Russian ones as well, see what sort of goodies they have. I should reach out to the guys from Trafalgar and see what the meaning of these are. Maybe I can even just find it online. Again, we have the HQ cards, and then a bunch of armor or support weapons and whatnot. Oh, and even a plane. There we go. And well, we might as well look at the Spanish ones while we're here as well, since they're going to be slightly different and good. Given it's a Spanish company, no surprise that the first stretch goal was some specialty Spanish units. But yeah, we have a bunch of infantry. We've got an 81mm mortar, MGs, a battalion HQ, Zapadors. I'm pretty sure that must be sappers. Observador must be observers, spotters, and some more. Oh, we have a couple of trucks and some more, or a few anti-tank guns or artillery pieces. So that's that. All right, let's see what else is in the box here. We have a rule book, two rule books, but of course one is in Spanish and one is in English. So set the Spanish one aside, as my Spanish is non-existent. But here's the English one. It's on glossy paper, 2-column. Looks like there's plenty of illustrations, and anywhere we have these italics, it looks like those are examples. So we have a fair bit of examples and illustrations here. It's the scenarios are in the back of the book here too. So we have 14 pages of regular rules, and then there's advanced rules for just a couple pages. And there's just a couple of scenarios at the back, but there's rules for how to create scenarios here as well. So there may be other scenarios in the box. Who knows? We'll see. Again, separate out the Spanish things. We have some player aids here on info on vehicles, infantry versus. I think these are just like rules reminders, perhaps. Close combat table. I bet there's some sort of a combat table. Oh no, terrain table on this side. So there you go. Terrain. And this looks like each player may get one of these. This is the German one, where we have, well, it says companies and then sections. We have like first, second, and third company with first, second, and third section each one. I don't know. I don't know if these are actually companies and sections, or if they're platoons and sections, or companies and platoons, whatever. We also have a reserve. We have a spot for aviation and a spot for artillery and HQ. So we have one of those for each side. And then, yeah, it's just, there's this generic map board, and depending on the scenario, it's a hard mounted, decent scenario. Just from looking at the components, I have no idea if this is the way it actually works, but there are markers like these. These definitely appear to be woods, or on the other side we have hills or wheat fields. So I think you create this, you probably create the scenarios as you just create the terrain by putting out these scenario markers. Let's see what else we have. We've got, oh, these look like random direction things of some kind. We have spotting rounds, supplies, star shells maybe, not sure. Let's have a, see if you can. Some of this stuff is fairly unfamiliar because I think they're, if I'm right about this, they're kind of charting some uncharted territory with the design here, but we'll see. Okay, so yeah, here we have the counters. So the counters are for the different companies. So you can see there, first, second, third company, and it'd be first company, first, second, third section, second company, first, second, third section, and so on. We have some hidden markers, broke markers, SS markers. I don't know what those are for. Some leader markers there at the bottom. Oh, and then here's some more things that would fit on the board in terms of terrain. We've got some, what looks like you could make a, we have some, these probably marsh, these are probably stream, walls, wire, anti-tank obstacles perhaps, pillboxes, and I have no idea what those arrows are for. There we go. And that's it. That's everything. That's everything in the box for Tactical Commander. It's I gotta say, you know, we have this map board and we have the small units that go with it, but then we have these cards that each one of these cards I think will represent these counters that go on the board. So yeah, it seems completely different from anything I've ever played before. It's not up front, it's not ASL, it looks like a totally new style of game. So yeah, here we go. So that's Tactical Commander from Trafalgar Editions. I'm sure it's going to take me a bit to get to this table and learn it, but I'm sure you're going to hear from me again about what I thought of it once I get it played. Thanks again for watching. I'm Grant Lenneberg for Pushing Cardboard. Stop by our Discord server sometime and say hello. We'll see you next time.